video that I have ever done on this channel where I'm demonstrating a project or doing a tutorial, I always started by saying, make a loop however you make a loop. It was brought to my attention by someone that, well, the way they put it was, I hope this is not a stupid question, but how do you make the loop? And of course, it is not a stupid question. And it occurred to me that I had jumped ahead and I had assumed that everybody knew how to make a loop when I should not have assumed that. So what this video is to demonstrate two different ways to make the loop, because without the loop you can't get started. So I'm going to show you the way that I usually make my loops, and then I'm going to demonstrate a second way. I know there are many ways that people make loops, but I'm going to show you, like I said, the way that I make my loops, and then I'll show you a different way. And so, you know what? Let's just get to it. The first loop that I'm going to show you is the one that I generally use. You may have seen me in some of the videos where I go like this, I go like that, I pull that through like that, and voila, I have a loop. Well, don't worry, I'm going to slow it down so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. The best way that I can describe how I start the loop that I use is I start by making an awareness ribbon. I fold the yarn in on itself, I cross it on itself, and to me, it reminds me of an awareness ribbon. The ribbons that are pink that people wear for breast cancer awareness, or the red ones for HIV/AIDS awareness, or the purple ones for domestic violence awareness, an awareness ribbon. But because we're doing a project, we need our tails on our awareness ribbon to be a little longer. We need at least 10 inches to start, maybe a little more, but at least 10 inches. Go to the opposite end, and we're going to make a circle by crossing it over itself. It's going to cross it over itself. Then we're going to take one hand and hold that circle in place while we take the other hand, take some fingers, go inside, get that tail yarn and pull it in one direction while pulling the tail and the working yarn in the opposite direction. And now we have a loop. And the loop is adjustable by pulling on the tail yarn. So you can make it larger or smaller by pulling on the tail yarn. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time for you. Okay, so we have some substantial yarn, at least 10 inches. We're going to make a circle, cross it over itself, hold it in one hand to hold the circle together. Take some fingers from the other hand and get that tail yarn and pull it in one direction while pulling the tail yarn and the working yarn in the opposite direction. And we have a loop, which, as I said before, is adjustable by pulling on the tail yarn. The next loop that I'm going to show you, it is done, of course, with substantial yarn, at least 10 inches to start. We're going to lay that across our hand, and we're going to get our pointer finger and point it out while using the other hand to wrap the yarn. We're going to wrap 3 revolutions around that finger, and then we're going to hold that yarn in place with our thumb. We're going to go to the middle revolution, and we're going to lift it up and pull it up and off the tip of the finger. Now when we get it off, it's just going to hang there. We're not going to let go of our thumb. We're not going to let anything go. Now we're going to take that revolution that's on the tip, and we're going to bring it in the opposite direction, go in with our fingers, get that yarn, and while pulling it in one direction, pull the other 2 strings in the opposite direction. And then again, we have a loop, and we can adjust it by pulling on the tail yarn. And I'm going to show you that one more time. So we're going to take the yarn and we're going to lay it across the inside of our hand, while our pointer finger, we're going to take and wrap around that finger 3 revolutions. And then we're going to hold it in place with our thumb. We're going to go to the second revolution and pick it up and pull it off the tip of the finger. Not going to let go of anything. And then we're going to get the tip and go back, get that yarn, pull it in one direction while you're pulling the working yarn and the tail yarn in the opposite direction. And we have a loop. And again, the loop is adjustable by pulling on the tail yarn. As always, if you have any questions, if you feel like you need me to slow it down even more, please don't hesitate to ask. And in the meantime, oh, just stay wonderful.